All right, I have a question to ask everyone. I want you to think about it in your head and then write it on your whiteboards. How many apple slices do you think you've eaten? The most apple slices you've ever eaten in like 2 days. Write on your whiteboard how many you think you have eaten in a 2-day span. Just write down a number. How many you think the most you've ever eaten?
Like slices?
Yes, slices of apples.
What's that even like apple? Like an apple of life?
Nope, just in a 2-day period.
Slices.
Just it doesn't matter. There's not a right or wrong answer. Sure. Who would like to share a number? Ellie, what did you write down?
So I don't really like apples, so I wrote 1 0.
Oh, 0. You don't think you've ever had more than one apple slice in a 2-day period? Tildy?
10 because probably if I would have that 2 days, my dad would give me like 5 each day.
Okay. Emmett, what did you write down?
22.
22. All right, hands down. Today, you're going to find out how many apples I have eaten, how many apple slices I've eaten in the last 2 days. I've been keeping track. I bought some really good apples, and I've been eating a lot of them. It is, yes, absolutely. Okay? So, I really like green apples, so I like slicing them. So I kept track. I wanted to see how many I ate on Monday and how many I had last night. And then your job today is to be able to figure out how many I ate in all. Okay? So let's erase our boards and put your caps on your markers. Let's put our markers between our legs. And let's get going so we can figure out how many slices of apples I have eaten in the last 2 days. But first, before we figure that out, just a few quick warm-ups. My question is, how many do you see up here, and how do you see them? Sarah H., how many do you see?
12.
How do you see 12? So you drug 2 up here, and what was the math fact you knew then to solve that? Okay, so you drug 4 up here to make 10. She knew 10 plus 2 equals 12. Did anyone do it a different way? Gabe, how did you do it?
I did it by leaving all of them there, and well, not really. I left all of them there, and I just knew that the top was 2 right there, and the bottom was 2 right there, and then I just knew that each one was 4, top and bottom.
You see 4 and 4?
No, I see 2 and 2 that equals 4.
2 and 2 and 2 and 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that equals 8.
So you knew 4 plus 4 equals 8.
And then 2 more from 8 equals 10.
So
and
8 plus 2 equals 10.
And then there's 2 left, which equals 12.
Okay, so then he added 2 more on. Equals 12. Did anyone do it another way? Althea.
I counted by 2.
So you went 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12? Alright, counting by 2s. Emmett.
I did 6 plus 6.
Okay, so he sees 6 and 6. What strategy did he use?
Double.
He used a double. He used, fix the board. 6 plus 6 equals 12. Okay? Let's try one more. How many do you see now, and how do you see them? Sarah A.
We just did 6 plus 6.
Did you just say we just did?
Yes.
Oh, So were you thinking about this one? How does that relate to this one?
Because there's first two numbers
Mm-hmm.
are 6, and then you just add in one more, so that would equal 13.
Okay, so she saw 6 and 6 from this previous problem. And then she just thought about one more. 12 plus 1 is 13. Raise your hand if that's how you saw it right away. Okay. Did anyone see it a different way? Phoebe, how did you see it?
I saw it like, there's 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, so I counted by 4s. 4, 8, 12, then I counted that one more,
Okay.
13.
Phoebe counted by 4s. 4, 8, 12, and then one more 13.
Like me.
Okay? All right, let's move on. Remember today, you are going to be figuring out how many apples I've eaten in the last, apple slices I've eaten in the last 2 days. This relates to what our ICANN is. It's using math strategies to help me solve and explain addition problems to 100. Okay, that's what you're going to be doing today. Okay, so we have learned a lot of different strategies to be able to figure these problems out. One of those strategies is being able to break numbers apart into 10s and 1s. Okay, with your partner, I want you to write this number down and talk about how you could break this number apart into 10s and 1s. Be sure you're talking with them. Explain what you're thinking.
The 6 will be broken down to 1 here.
What did you do?
And I'm gonna write I think I made it.
How do you think we could?
Well, I think that
All right, I'm going to write over here. Let's get back together. I heard a lot of good conversations about how we can break this number apart. Thank you for talking with your partners, sharing your thinking. So first of all, what number is this?
36.
36. What might I hear a first grader say this number as?
63.
63 is the other possibility, right? But we know we read this way.
No.
Okay? Because this number is in the tens place, right? And this is in the ones. So who can explain how we would break this number apart? Pete, what did you and your partner decide on breaking this number apart into?
30 and 6.
Okay. Where did you get 30 from?
From the 10s.
Okay, so then how many tens are there?
3.
There's 3, and we know 3 tens is 30. 10, 20, 30. How did you get the 6?
Because there's 6 ones.
There's 6 ones. I also saw some of you drawing it out. Going 3 tens like this, and then 6 ones. Is that an okay way to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, could you solve problems by doing this?
That's how I did it.
Okay. You could have also solved it this way. In just a minute, when you go to work, instead of drawing it out, could you use these?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could use your base 10 blocks. How many of these do I need to make that number?
3.
I would need 3. How many of these?
6.
I would need 6. Okay, so I have 5, and now I have 6, and I can make 36.
Or if you don't
Okay.
have some, you could get some from
Yeah,
in
you
there.
can get more from the bin. Okay? Alright. Hands down. So today's goal, using all that we know about solving 2-digit problems up to 100, is to be able to solve and write a story problem with 2 2-digit numbers. So today you're going to be solving one problem, the problem I give you about how many apples I've eaten over the last 2 days. And you're going to have to write your own story too. But let's think about our I can here. It's explaining it too. Okay, so that's showing your strategy, and then when we come back together, be able to share your strategy, how you solved it. Because we all use different strategies, right?
Yeah.
I bet when I'm walking around, I'm going to see some with blocks. I'm going to see some breaking numbers apart, some drawing out the tens and ones. Maybe I'll see some of you standing up here at the hundreds chart to solve it. What you already know to be able to be successful today is you know how to break numbers apart. You also know how to use a lot of strategies to add two-digit numbers. Your next step is using it in the story problem. Okay, and writing the story problem. So let me give you an example first. Sometimes I get the question from parents, how many students I have in my classroom, or how many students I've had over the last couple of years. So I was thinking about that last night, of how many I've had over the last 2 years. How many different first graders I've had. So I wrote a little story problem. I had 23 students in my class last year, and 19 students this year. How many students have I had in the last 2 years? Okay, I can already see some of you trying to figure this out. I am going to work out this one. I don't want you to be writing it out right now, so your caps are on your markers. Put your marker between your legs. Alright, I just want you listening for this one. Okay? Let's actually move over to the whiteboard because the smartboard's not working very well this morning. So when I read this problem, let's have our bodies turn this way. I see two numbers. I see 23 and 19. I know it's an addition problem because it says how many students have I had in the last 2 years. Okay, so I need to combine them. So I'm going to write a plus sign. Okay? And now I'm going to use a strategy to solve it. The strategy I am going to use to solve it is I'm going to draw it out. So 23 has 2 10s and 3 1s. 19 has 1 10 and 9 1s. I'm trying to stay organized too. Do you see how my circles are organized?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm trying to keep it so I don't get confused. My next step is to count up how many 10s I have. But I'm also thinking about, can I make another 10 with my 1s? It seems like I have an awful lot of 1s. I know I have 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, I already have 10. So I'm going to circle one of those because one more would make 10. Because I have 9, 10. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 10s and 2 1s. So I've had 42 first graders in the last 2 years. Right. Do you think that's more or less than what you were thinking?
It was the same. I thought it was the same.
Less? Okay, more. All right. Are you ready to figure out how many apple slices I've eaten in the last 2 days?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to write a guess of how many I have eaten in the last 2 days on your
I'm just gonna
whiteboard.
be silly with this.
How many do you think Mr. Ritz has eaten?
Are they really good?
They were really good.
I'm just drinking. I'm just gonna 26. I'm just
All
saying
right.
one.
All right, before I show you the problem, I want to talk to you about how you're going to solve this. You are going to work with your partner on working on it. Your sheet's going to look just like this. Okay, it's already at your table. So it's going to look like this. You solve it, Olivia, right in this box. Okay, so you'll show your work here. Be ready to explain your work with your partner, with the class if you would like to. Okay? So here it is. You're going to work it out right in this box. Okay? I'm not going to show it because I want you to work on it with your partner. Okay?
My partner's going to the bathroom.
So who can explain? Are you going to work on your own or by yourself? Or but with your partner? With your partner. Okay. You should talk about which strategy you want to use. So when I say off you go, you're going to go grab a sheet from your table, and then you're going to get started with your partner. Okay? Off you go. Alright,